another movie that we both saw this weekend. Also premiered. Oh no, also it premiered at South by Southwest.
Yeah.
To really strong reviews and acclaim. Long Shot, Jonathan Levine's recent romantic comedy starring Charlize Theron, Seth Rogen. 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's funny because when I was listening to the Big Picture podcast talking about Charlize Theron's career, and they called this a romantic comedy, I kind of took a step back because I didn't really think about it that way. I really just saw this as a straight up comedy movie, but obviously the romantic elements do qualify for that. But this was probably the most that I've laughed consistently in theaters at a movie in a really long time. Before we get too far into like spoilers with it, overall thoughts and feelings about the movie.
Yeah, I think 83% Rotten Tomatoes kind of speaks for itself when you're talking about studio comedies. That's not common for critics to overwhelmingly support, this kind of movie. Yeah. And as soon as I heard about the South by buzz, I went in blind. So I didn't actually know that the Long Shot title was referring to them as a couple. I thought it was referring to Charlize's character running for office. I thought that's what it was more about. Because I didn't watch the trailer. But yeah, you know, I think it's just hilarious. Great wit, great chemistry between characters. Really well paced. I think it moves quite briskly, but never sacrifices laughs as a result. I loved it. I think this is. I fully endorse it. And again, I would do what I did if you can. Don't really have go into any preconceived notions. Have any jokes spoiled, anything like that, and it's a great time. Big fan.
Yeah, if you're watching our review on the movie and you somehow avoided everything and you're not going to listen to the rest of this, go see it right now and then come back.
Add to your watch later and come back.
Yeah. Now, you made a really good point about the pacing of this, but also the chemistry, I think, is what stood out most to me. Yeah. When I think about Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron together, I guess this is kind of like the running joke throughout the movie. No one would ever put these two people together because Charlize Theron, I don't think has ever been more beautiful than she is in this movie. That was my number one.
More attractive with age. It's pretty crazy.
I walked out of the theater and I said to Julianne, I said, I mean, she's like the most perfect looking person in the entire world. I think like it's unbelievable. But they really meshed together so well. And not only did they have like that romantic chemistry that you kind of need between the two leads, but I thought they really played off each other well in terms of humor. And you know, Charlize Theron's character, and this is supposed to be, you know, not very funny, but there's really nothing that indicates that she isn't funny in this. She's just ultra serious.
She's busy.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the way that they set it up too, in terms of making them like childhood friends, and then, you know, they come together because he becomes a speechwriter for her, was really well done. And it also is just an excellent idea for a story because you already have these built-in like places you're going, things that you're doing that they're kind of interacting around, and the conflict is already built in terms of her role and his looks. So just really, really smart movie. Any performances other than Rogen and Theron that you wanted to shout out? Because I definitely had two.
I thought O'Shea Jackson Jr. was great. Yep. My first time seeing him in this kind of comedic role, but being Rogen's friend and then kind of carrying the political message fully forward about being a black Christian Republican. Just really funny. And honestly, I really think this can really open up his career even further. He's doing quite well already, but he's certainly much bigger than Ice Cube's son. Let's put it that way. Bob Odenkirk, just amusing as a Ronald Reagan to the extreme, let's say. And then June, Diane Raphael, as Charlize is someone on her team, her inner circle. I think she's really good, just really cutting line deliveries when she's talking to Flarsky, talking to Rogen. And it ultimately pays off in a great way, kind of in Act 2 when you have that hallway scene post-coitus for the whole team.
So good.
Great stuff. And as you mentioned, given the premise, the jet setting between locales, I didn't expect. I think that actually kind of added to the budget. I think it's like a $40 million movie, which you wouldn't have expected at first, given it's just a comedy. But the jet setting was cool. Like, obviously, the Philippines action really propels the plot, propels the romance. But even when we're in
Argentina.
well, no, is it Sweden or
Yes.
somewhere in Scandinavia anyway? Uh, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The whole time. So yeah, I really liked it, and I think yes, like Andy Serkis's bad business Rupert Murdoch dude. Yes, he's one note. Yes, we know exactly what he's going to do in the movie, and we know how it ends. Doesn't matter. The movie's fucking hilarious, and it's quite smart.
Yeah, it's really smart. Couldn't recommend this enough. Also, I really liked Randall Park in this, the boss of Flarsky, and just like you're just making bad decisions right now. You're just making bad decisions.
Paul Scheer as like a guy on Fox News.
Yeah,
really funny. And also shout out Lil Yachty, kind of a really funny comic. You know what? Everyone jerks off. Hell yeah!
Just it's so good. I also probably my favorite Skarsgård also I think is pretty good. You know, with like he's kind of given a weird role to play, but I thought he was still solid with it. Yeah, he the whole like or I guess like the sequence of scenes I like most is probably when they're in Argentina, because not only did it have probably my favorite joke when Seth Rogen's like, oh, the people that killed my grandparents might actually be here. Like I just saw Adolf Hitler, but like then they have that really sweet scene where like they go into the other room and they dance together to like the same song that was playing, like they kiss each other as kids. I thought that was really effective in terms of like meshing comedy with romance really well in this. And in like for as much as unbelievable as this movie is, like a somewhat believable way. So
yeah. One last thing, I liked how they kind of bring home at the end where it's like, do you sacrifice what you stand for versus what you want to realistically accomplish, both the political message and also about personal lives. And you know, a lot of times when comedies get sappy at the end, it can lose people because it's kind of usually very thin, especially if it's very romancy. But I thought it was quite effective. It follows up a great set piece where they both do Molly. So good stuff.
That whole scene was fucking hysterical. Just the whole thing is so good. I really can't wait to rewatch.
Who's Molly?
When she's like talking on the phone, she like looks up above the desk and they're all staring at her, and she just goes back down. Is like amazing. Just amazing acting by Theron.